Morning, Dean. I suppose we were supposed to be on the road to Lincoln this morning. Bit of a frustration for everybody, I think.
Morning, Toby. Yeah, it's of course it's a bit of frustration. We'd planned the whole week for obviously this game on the Friday, and unfortunately it's been cancelled due to unforeseen circumstance at the moment, which obviously we can't do too much about. But listen, we wish Lincoln all the best, and we hope they're okay.
Has that altered, I suppose, any sort of preparation, any training for you guys in the build-up to the Crewe game then?
Yeah, so obviously we changed our working week. Obviously the games for Friday, Monday, so we trained Monday, Tuesday. We obviously had yesterday off as well because of the postponement of the game. So now we're in today, focusing on the next game on Monday against Crewe. The players will have a bit of time off tomorrow, and then we'll be in for Sunday for the session, and then we'll obviously play Crewe at home on the Monday. So yeah, a different week for us. Something different where it's a Friday, Monday. As you can imagine, it changes slightly. And going back to the game today, obviously it's a disappointment because the players have worked hard this week for the game, and unfortunately it has been cancelled.
I think it's fair to say that MK Dons use their goalkeepers slightly differently to most other clubs.
I don't know what you mean, Toby.
Diplomatic of me on that. How different does that mean that your approach is as a goalkeeper coach? I mean, I imagine that it's completely different to stuff that you'd have done previously.
Yeah, it is different. Obviously, the gaffer puts a lot of emphasis on the goalies. The way the football world works at the moment, it goes in cycles, and now it seems to be that the goalkeepers are used a lot more than the previous years. For me personally, I love it. Obviously, going back to a few years ago, where obviously me and Russ played together, I loved it myself. I didn't understand with putting the ball down and then putting everyone up 50, 60 yards higher up the pitch and just smashing it along, in my opinion. I preferred passing the ball. Maybe because I didn't have the power either, Toby, to kick it that far. That's probably why I enjoyed it. But no, I love it. And to be fair to all three keepers here, they've been fantastic with the way we've implemented training for them. They've totally bought into the way we want to play, the style we want to play. It's obviously not unique because other teams do it, but I think it's quite unique in our league the way we have stuck to it, and a lot of pressure on the boys, and sometimes tricky conditions, like obviously the pitch has had its faults this year, but that's the way it's been. So full credit to the boys with sticking to the task and playing on pitches where sometimes it's very difficult, and I don't think they get a lot of credit that they should really get.
Is it a challenge for you as well to be able to keep on top of those expectations and to almost teach them a different discipline maybe?
Toby, it's always a challenge being a goalkeeper coach. Every time the ball goes in, it's the goalkeeper coach's fault. No, it can be. It can be because obviously I've got to change the way we structure the week or structure the year really for the way we want to play. I miss certain bits where we don't get probably enough time to work on, but obviously the way we play, we get away with it because the way we dictate possession. So we have a lot more of the ball, where in normal games a keeper might make say 10 to 12 saves. Ideally we want none, but we're looking at probably 2 to 3. So I do get a lot more time with the keepers working on that aspect of playing with their feet. But yeah, it's just the way I have to manage the week, the month, the year to what we work with our philosophy. It does take a lot of planning. Luckily, we do get a lot of time here, me, Russ and Luke, where we spend pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're here from 7:30 in the morning till 11 at night. We obviously stay at the hotel, so we get a lot of work done in them 3 days, so we can not relax, but on the Friday we know exactly what the players need to do for the Saturday.
Now I've got a question about each of your 3 goalkeepers here actually. I mean, how much have you seen Andrew Fisher improve during the course of the season since he's become the number 1?
Yeah, he's been brilliant, to be fair. I don't think people know that obviously it's his first season in the Football League. And to take on the role and the responsibility he has, it's been incredible. And it's because of the other 2 as well. It's because of Lee and Laurie. Obviously, people don't see what they do on a daily basis. For me, Laurie's been an unsung hero because he trains Monday to Friday, knowing that he's probably not going to be in the squad on the Saturday because of Lee and Mr. Fisher. So they work each other. When Fish come in last season, Lee's performances, in my opinion, went through the roof because Fish was testing Lee, and then the roles are reversed again this year. Lee's now testing Fish, and that's full credit to Lee as well. Like, obviously, Toby, you might be able to hear him on the sideline because obviously there's no fans at the moment, but I can hear Lee screaming at Fish, telling him, giving him advice, giving him encouragement, and that's brilliant for us. That's the culture that we want at the club. And Russ speaks all the time about obviously each individual, but also the team. And it's so important how the lads that are not playing, how much they buy into the way we want to play, and obviously the environment we want to create. And for me, that's why Russ has done so well in the job, and as well as Luke, that he's got a team now that we're all together, we're all working as one. But going back to the goalkeepers, Toby, they've been brilliant, mate. I honestly, it's really close to one of the best groups I've ever had as a free in senior football. Just because they all get on brilliantly, which is sometimes not normal. Obviously, they each of them want to play, and there's only one position. But as a free, I can't speak highly enough of them.
It's like you're reading my question sheet, Dean, because I've actually got down here Lee Nichols as the bench coach, because you're right, I've sat behind the dugout a couple of times, and he's almost that extra voice, isn't he, telling Andrew Fisher to set up where he needs to be looking and all that sort of stuff. And that's massive for a guy who was number one for such a long time to be able to step into that role as well. Yeah,
to be honest, it makes my job a hell of a lot easier. And that's the character Lee has. To be fair to him, like, when we told him he's coming out of the team, as you can imagine, he's going to be disappointed, like everyone would be. But since then, like, we've had numerous conversations, and honestly, I can't fault the fella. He comes in, he works as hard as he can, he tests Fish, he tests Laurie, and as you say, like, it's easier for me. Like, I've got someone that, like with Fisher, for example, I'm explaining to him like the way we want to play, and then you've got me telling him and giving him advice, but then you've also got Lee who's been in there and actually done it this season and last season, telling him, look, maybe try this, maybe do that. And when we have the younger goalies with us as well, like we've got a young goalkeeper that we work with in called Ronnie, an under 16 goalie, and when he comes over, we do a bit, and you can see Lee is already talking to him. Lee's telling him, maybe try this with your hands, maybe do this with your feet, and it might be something that when Lee decides to retire in many, many years, it wouldn't surprise me if he become a goalkeeper coach either, because he's definitely got the qualities to be one.
And it is a tough job, isn't it, being that second choice goalkeeper, even third choice goalkeeper, really, because you do spend so much time on the sideline.
Yeah, it's tough because obviously only one can play, and you could be thrown in the first game of the season. You might not play at all the whole season. You've always got to be prepared physically and mentally. It's extremely tough when you're travelling up and down the country and you already know pretty much you're not going to be playing on that Saturday, but then an opportunity could arise, and that's when goalkeepers come into their own. They step in and they take the shirt, and then it's up to them to keep it. But like you say, it's extremely tough when you're training Monday to Friday and you might not know that you're playing on Saturday. That's why I credit Laurie Walker, and I'm thrilled for him what he's doing right now, because obviously he's trained and he knows pretty much he might not be in the squad on a Saturday or a Tuesday, but the level he's shown and the professionalism he's shown as well, I'd take my hat off to him.
Well, that's it. That was one of my other questions about Laurie up at Oldham. It is credit to him, isn't it? Because at 31, making your senior debut, he's certainly put in the years and the hard graft.
Yeah, it's a unique story. Obviously, not many players get to make their debut at 31. I've been in touch with some people at Oldham. They're delighted with him. Each game he seems to be getting better and better. Am I surprised? Not really, because I've seen him for a year now. I've known him previously, obviously watching him in the lower leagues. But the way he's adapted and the way he's brought into our process here, I was not surprised when Russ told me, look, there's an opportunity for Laurie to go and play in League Two. From a selfish point of view, I wanted to keep him in the building because I wanted my department to be fit and strong as normal. But from an unselfish point of view, I wanted Laurie to go and play and to show everyone what he can do. And there's no real surprise that I think that some of the ratings he's been getting is 7, 9, 8 in 4 or 5 games, which is incredible for a goalkeeper, especially when you're not really going to get them levels because you shouldn't really be on the ball as much. But obviously it shows he's been a busy man at Oldham, and and I think they're really, really pleased with him. So yeah, I'm delighted for the lad, and I hope he stays there to the end of the year and he gets, say, 10, 12 games under his belt, which is fantastic. It's a great story for him.
Onto the team as a whole, then I shan't ask you the usual "Are you going for playoffs?" question, because I think I know the stock answer by now. I guess it's just a case of finishing as strongly as possible, and just seeing where it ends up. And if it ends up in that top six, then brilliant.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, at the moment we've not even mentioned the playoffs. There's 8 games to go with 24 points available. I think sometimes if you think about the playoffs too early, you lose focus of the game ahead. We've got Crewe. Crewe's the next game, the most important game. If there's 2-3 games to go and we're right in amongst it, and then I think we have to have that conversation. But there's so many points available. I think from 13th to 5th, I think there's 4 points. So there's a lot of teams that could be talking about it, and I hope they are, because I hope they take their eye off the ball, because we'll step in. No, honestly, Toby, it's game by game. It's a great run we're on, and I'm not surprised because of the group we've got. It's such a good group. But like I say, game by game, Monday, then I think it's the Saturday, then it's the Tuesday, then it's the Saturday. So let's see where we are after them 4 games, and I might be back here, Toby, having a better chat with you.
Yeah, I think we all look forward to that one then. Crewe, I think, is probably a bit of an outlier, isn't it? Because for such a long time, that was seen as the game where Dons were at their poorest, at their lowest. I suppose pick the adjective as to how you want to describe it, but it's amazing how far the team has come since then.
Yeah, from our point of view, we were disappointed with that game. What I would say is it was really early on. I couldn't tell you exactly, but if I had to have a rough guess, I think maybe the team that started, maybe 3 are still here or started the last game. That's a guess. We have come a long way since then. I would have to say it was really early on, but now, like I see, the last 4 games we've picked up maximum points. The team are on a roll, and full credit to them for doing that. But Crewe are a very good team. Our analyst Ben speaks really, really highly of them. He says he's watching them probably the most, more than any team at the moment. That's not just because of the way we got them Monday, but just for them as a team and as individual players. They've got some really, really good players, especially the attacking end of the pitch. So from my end, obviously, I've got to be on my toes to keep Mr. Fisher, Mr. Nichols in ready for the game ahead. But no, Crewe are very good, and their manager's done a fantastic job there. He's been there a while. He's been given time. Obviously, budget-wise, I don't imagine them being the topper end of the league, but it shows the great job they're doing there. So full credit to Crewe. But like I said, we want to get back to playing them on the Monday and get back to winning ways where I think we owe them one, in all honesty. They did a job on us at their gaff, so let's hope we do a job at our gaff.